Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here, back from my little vacation. Hope you guys missed me. If you didn't, F off. All right, so today's Top Tier Tuesday is going to be on best training splits to maximize muscle growth, right? So, what are the most anabolic training splits if time is of the essence, right? So, let's say you have a group of guys and you have 6 months to get as big as you can naturally get, right? So, let's say you have 6 months to get swole. What is the training split that will help you maximize your gains, assuming everything else is equal, right? So maximum size on your chest, your back, your legs, your arms, your shoulders, your traps, everything. Now, quick disclaimer, guys, this video is for hard gainers. This video is for guys who are skinny fat, have shit genetics, because that's my expertise. This video is not for the genetic freaks out there. You guys grow on any fucking split. And trust me, guys, I've been doing this for over 16 years. I've seen genetics come and go. I've seen the good genetics, the bad genetics. Some people just respond to anything, right? You got guys out there who grow their fucking lats from jerking off, right? So this video is for the average person, the average shit genetics hard gainer, because I know how to get you guys big. That's what I've been doing for over a decade. In fact, quick rant, one of my biggest complaints about the fitness industry is that 99% of the advice out there comes from guys who are one, either on fucking roids, or two, have top tier genetics, right? That's why people are small, because you guys are constantly following the advice of people who just grow from anything, right? I mean, think about it. Think about the biggest bodybuilders with the biggest followings on Instagram, the biggest channels, right? They're usually one, on roids, right? Or obviously TRT, we should try to act like it's not roids, right? And two, they have top tier genetics. That advice is not necessarily going to work for you, right? You got guys out there who do 3 sets of bicep curls once a week and boom, great gains, 20-inch arms. And now the average dumbass watches the video and goes, oh, that's how I'm going to get my biceps big. Good luck with that, motherfucker, right? So stop taking advice from people who have no idea what it's like to have shit genetics. But anyway, you guys already know the format. I'm about to nut. That's the best of the best. Fucking amazing. Second best. Okay, that's middle, average, bad, and obviously pure garbage. And we have the top 5 most popular splits, right? So you have bro split, full body workouts, push pull, upper lower, push pull legs, blah blah blah, right? As far as the criteria we're going to use to rank them, obviously number one, what maximizes protein synthesis on a weekly basis, right? Because you can maximize protein synthesis, myofibular protein synthesis, of course, in one day, but that's obviously relevant, right? We want to know what can maximize protein synthesis long term. Number two, something that's going to help you maximize effective weekly volume. For example, most people need about 10 to 20 sets to grow minimum. Obviously, if you have great genetics, you grow on 10 sets a week. If you have shitty genetics, you need 20 or more. But we all know you cannot do all that volume in just one day, right? The average muscle needs about 5 hard sets a day to maximize protein synthesis. So if you need 20 sets a week and you try to do all of that in one day, good luck, right? The first 5 sets is where you're going to get the bang for your buck. The other 15 sets are either junk volume or just going to contribute to fatigue, central nervous system burnout, or excessive muscle damage. So it's all about getting your maximum weekly volume spread out so that every single set counts. 3, we're looking for the split that's obviously going to help you maximize recovery, because we all know recovery is when the muscle is actually growing. And I'm referring to local recovery and central nervous system recovery. Number 4, we want a split that's going to help minimize muscle damage, because obviously too much muscle damage is going to slow down protein synthesis, right? Most of your protein synthesis is going to go towards repair as opposed to growth, right? We don't want that, right? We want new sarcomeres. We want new myofibrils, new contractile elements. You don't want to waste most of your protein synthesis towards repairing excessive muscle damage. And lastly, we want the split that's obviously going to help maximize all the growth factors, right? Satellite cell activation, myonuclear donation, right? The myostatin follistatin pathway, mTOR activation, androgen receptor, IGF-1, mechanical growth factor, all of the growth factors. We want the split that's going to maximize that within that time frame. All right, so let's get started. Bro split, obviously bad. Everyone knows this, right? If you don't know this by now, if you've been watching my videos for years, you already know this. Bro split, bad. Keep in mind, this video is for the average guy. The average guy with shit genetics or the average hard gainer. You're doing bro splits, you're wasting your fucking time. And I'm referring to the traditional bro split, one body part a day type, type shit, like Monday, chest, Tuesday, back, blah, 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 right? Are you going to grow? Of course you're going to grow, right? It's obviously resistance training. But we're talking about maximizing muscle growth within a certain period of time. And bro splits is literally, out of all the training splits, the slowest way to grow if you're a hard gainer. I repeat, it's the slowest way to grow if you're a hard gainer. You're only training a muscle once a week. And remember, muscle protein synthesis, myofibular protein synthesis, peaks in less than 24 hours, right? After that, it goes back down towards baseline. And if you train, obviously the window is a lot smaller. You guys already know the story. I've been talking about this for years. So training your chest on Monday and waiting until the following Monday to train again. Now keep in mind, if you're a beginner and you got to recover from muscle damage, it's completely different, right? Because if you never train in your life, The first few workout sessions, you're not really building muscle. You're just repairing muscle damage and getting ready. Your body's pretty much adapting to the stress. And once you finally pass the initial muscle damage phase, and the repeated body effect kicks in, you need to train more frequently. Now, if you're on roids or you have great genetics, right? You have a lot of myonuclei, you have high androgen receptor content, your baseline protein breakdown is low, your baseline protein synthesis is elevated. Of course, you could do a bro split, right? If you have great genetics or you're on the juice, you could train chest on Monday. You're going to get that huge spike in protein synthesis, right? And it's not going to go back to baseline until days later because, again, that constant androgen receptor activity and constant mTOR activity is going to keep protein synthesis elevated. That's why the only people that do great on bro splits are people with great genetics or people who are on roids. Now, don't get me wrong. People think I hate bro splits. It's actually the opposite. They're actually my most enjoyable splits, right? If it was up to me, the only split I would fucking do is bro splits, right? Because I love training bro splits. I love going to the gym and focusing on one body part at a time. But guess what? I have shit genetics. I'm a hard gainer. I barely grew on bro splits. And it's the same with my clients, it's the same with my friends. I put on more muscle back when I used to bodybuild. I put on more muscle in 6 months of full body workouts than I did in 2 years of fucking bro splits. Go watch the old videos, right? So I actually love bro splits, right? If bro splits were superior, I would be the #1 proponent of bro splits because if it was up to me, that's all I would fucking do. Only problem is, no one is trying to wait fucking 10 or 20 years to add an inch to their fucking bicep. I'm obviously exaggerating, but you get the point. Also, keep in mind, my ebook has a bro split routine in it, so I have no financial incentive to shit on bro splits, right? I prescribe bro splits based on what my clients want. Because remember, the best split is the one that actually results in maximum endurance, right? The one that you can actually stick to. So if you love bro splits, by all means, go for it. Just know what you're getting yourself into. All right, next, push pull. Again, this is push, including legs on push day, and obviously pull the next day. This one isn't fucking amazing, right? Fucking amazing category because one, you get to maximize weekly volume without doing too much volume per day on a specific body part, right? So you get to spread out your weekly volume. You get to train every body part at least 2 to 3 times a week, right? Which is the bare minimum if you're a hard gainer, right? 2 to 3 times a week. The only reason it's not in I'm about to nut category is because your central nervous system is going to get fucking fried, right? Unless you're obviously, very experienced, you've been doing this for a long time and you manage recovery very well. So push pull, again, legs being part of push day, fucking amazing category. Upper lower, again, also in fucking amazing category, right? For the same reasons I mentioned earlier, you get to train every body part 2 to 3 times a week, depending on how you set it up. So you're getting the same amount of weekly volume, but you're actually spreading it out throughout the week, which is going to help you maximize protein synthesis while simultaneously lowering excess muscle damage. Again, the only reason why it's not higher is simply because of the recovery issue, right? You're going to have to train almost every single day. Except for one, if you want to really maximize frequency. So your central nervous system is really only going to get 1 full day to reset, right? It's not good to have your sympathetic nervous system always activated every single day, right? So make sure if you're doing any of these splits, make sure you have an mTOR reset period after about 4 to 6 weeks. Next, push-pull legs. Again, this one goes in the okay category, right? Simply because you can only train every body part about twice a week, right? Which is good, it's a good sweet spot. But remember, if you're a hard gainer, you need that frequency, you need that hard effective volume. You want to keep protein synthesis elevated constantly, right? You pretty much want to mimic the effects of steroids. You're obviously not going to fully, you're not going to get the same result, but that's the goal. You want to keep protein synthesis elevated, get that spike within the first 16 to 24 hours, and then hit that muscle again before the spike goes back towards baseline. The only issue is, again, you can only train about twice a week, unless you set it up so that you have more frequency, and there are ways to do that. And obviously, the king, full body workouts. Guys, I've been preaching about this for over 10 years now, right? If you're a hard gainer, you're skinny fat, the results speak for themselves, right? So you don't have to believe me. Go back to the old videos, look at the progress that was made on my friends, my clients, myself. Full body workouts are the fastest way to pack on mass if you're a hard gainer, period. Right? Starting with a 3 times a week split, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You get to train every muscle 3 times a week. You get 4 full days of recovery, right? So you're training extremely hard 3 times a week, but you also have 4 full days of recovery. So you're getting more frequency than all the other splits and, right, more equal frequency, right, depending on these, but you're getting 4 full days off, right? 4 days for your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in, 4 full days to replenish your glycogen stores, to replenish your dopamine, recover from excessive muscle damage. You just can't beat the basic 3 times a week full body workout split. Now, obviously, the more advanced you get, you're going to have to eventually transition to 4 times a week, then 5 times a week, then eventually 6 times a week, but that's if you were extremely advanced, right? And you obviously don't want to train extremely hard. If you're doing a 6 times a week split, you don't want to train extremely hard every day, right? You want to have a high effort day, low effort day, high effort day, low effort day, right? This way you could train 6 times a week without without fucking burning out. But if you're a beginner, you're a hard gainer, start with 3 times a week and slowly add days as your recovery management progresses. So once again, full body workouts, #1 split for hard gainers. You maximizing weekly protein synthesis. You maximizing your hard effective weekly volume, right? You spreading that shit out. You maximizing recovery because you have 4 full days of rest. You maximizing your growth factors, and you obviously minimizing local muscle damage, right? Because you're not doing fucking 10 or 20 sets, on the same muscle group in just one session, right? That's gonna lead to way too much muscle damage. But there's a big caveat, right? The one thing that I noticed is that almost everybody who tries full body workouts does them wrong, right? Because they do full body workouts, but then they try to recover as if they were doing typical splits, right? When you're doing full body workouts, remember, guys, your protein requirement goes up, right? Science has confirmed this. You cannot eat 20 grams of protein and think, oh, I'm going to maximize protein synthesis. No, guys, you training chest, back, traps, shoulders, quads, hamstrings. You can't train that many muscle groups and eat as if you were just training chest and triceps, right? And that's why most studies that compare full body workouts and splits are done completely wrong because diet is kept the same. So you got one group going to the fucking gym, going to war on the entire body, and you got one group doing a little bitch chest and triceps workout, and then you're giving them the same protein, the same carbs, the same calories, right? Make it make sense. In what world does that make sense? If you're doing full body workouts, you got to eat more calories, more carbs, obviously, right? Because you're depleting full body glycogen stores, right? Not to zero, but you know what I mean. Your protein requirement has to go up, right? Because it takes about double the amount of protein to reach the same amount of protein synthesis. I mentioned that study a while back, right? You obviously need a lot more water. That's another thing. Most people doing full body workouts are dehydrated as fuck. Because once again, they think, oh, it's just like a typical chest and tricep workout. No, you need at least a gallon of water a day, and that's the bare minimum. You got to replenish your electrolytes, right? So your mineral requirements go up, your vitamin requirements go up, right? More zinc, more magnesium, more potassium, more sodium. And if your workout takes more than an hour, make sure you have an intra-workout shake to kind of lower the cortisol spike a bit, right? So most people doing full body workouts are doing them completely wrong. And it's amazing that some studies show that full body workouts have equal, or in some cases better gains than splits because the full body group is actually undernourished, which shows you how anabolic full body workouts are. Or because the full body group is undernourished, but they have equal or sometimes better gains depending on which study you're looking at. By the way, guys, that's it. But remember, at the end of the day, stick to the split you actually enjoy the most, right? If you hate full body workouts, you're not going to stick to them. So pick something you can actually stick to, especially if your discipline is trash, right? If your discipline is trash, pick something you can stick to, right? If you're extremely disciplined, then obviously stick to the most optimal split. Because I'd rather have you doing bro splits but being consistent at them for years than hopping on full body workouts and then burning out after 2 weeks because your bitch ass didn't want to manage recovery well. So pick the split that you can stick to long term. Also factor in your work and how stressful your job or your life is and things like that. But anyway, guys, the video is too fucking long. Hope you enjoy it. Comment below. Let me know what you want me to rank next Tuesday's for next Tuesday's Top Tier Tuesday. All right, I'm out of here. All right, guys, don't forget to like or share the video, subscribe and hit the bell, and buy my HSP Nucleus Overload Training Program. It's the ultimate program for maximum muscle growth. It includes full body workouts, splits, bro splits, push-pull, home workouts, you name it. Also comes with a complete guide for macros, nutrition, fat loss, muscle growth, hormones, including a meal plan. It's pretty much all my 16 years of experience condensed into one fucking book. You're also going to get free copies of any future edition. So visit Team3DAlpha.com and you can use the 40% off coupon code Nucleus Overload. Or you could just buy the shit at full price. Alright guys, I'm out of here.